Espinosa tied it with a clutch hit in the 7th. And the bases were loaded for Denard Span in the 9th. Span to left field. Looks like a game winner. Tagging up Espinosa. The Nationals come from behind and walk off the Cardinals. The 6 come-from-behind win in the first 3 weeks earned a series split with the Cards. Tonight, interleague play begins against the Angels. 2 of the game's brightest young stars share a big league field for the first time. Well, it should be an interesting series. Interleague play is upon us. American League, by the way, a slight edge so far. 17-15. Everybody talking about Trout and Harper. Harper and Trout. Bryce and Mike. It'll be fun to have these guys in the same ballpark. They've been on a field before in the All-Star game, but this team thing, FP, takes it all to a different level as they finally oppose each other with their teammates.
Yeah, I mean, new generation of baseball on display here in Washington for the next 3 days. We're excited to see it. We never get to see Mike Trout on the West Coast, but when you talk about these two guys going at it, it's 5-tool players. Bryce Harper can hit, run, hit for power. He's got a stronger arm than Trout, and I think a little bit more raw power than Mike Trout. But when you're talking about the Angels and their superstar, probably one of the best players in baseball.
You know, and Bryce, when he's going well, making things happen. So Bryce at 21, 6'3", 230. He's already been a Rookie of the Year and the youngest starter for the National League in the history of the All-Star game. Trout, a little bit older, a little more Major League experience, about 80 games worth.
Yeah, 2012 Rookie of the Year, as Bryce was, 326, 30, and 83. So 30 home runs and 83 RBI, 49 stolen bases in 2012. Last year he backed it up with 323, 27 home runs, 97 RBIs. So a lot of people say the most complete player in baseball. And I'm excited to watch him play, Carp. We don't get to see him play. We're sleeping when he's playing on the West Coast. So it's going to be a fun 3 days for us as fans to get to see Mike Trout.
One other footnote to this series, Trout's teammate Albert Pujols on 498 home runs. He hit number 400 in this ballpark against Jordan Zimmerman 4 years ago. Tanner Roark getting the nod for the Nats tonight. High ERA, but last time out, he dueled Jose Fernandez pitch for pitch down in Miami. Roark and the Halos next. Masson, brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world, and by University of Maryland, University College. Really nice night at the ballpark. The boys took it a little easy on Denard Span yesterday. Guy's coming off a concussion. Don't want to hammer him too much. Isn't it great to see a whole generation of young kids at the ballpark who've now grown up with the only team they know in this town, our Nationals. That will serve us well over the years. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard, so it's 69 at the ballpark. Low humidity. That breeze has died down a bit, and that's kind of a relief to all of us at altitude here. And here comes Albert Pujols. 498 career home runs. He's hit 6 of them this year. Tied for first in the American League. He is second in slugging, and he's 6th in RBIs. He got his plantar fasciitis issues taken care of, and it appears that Albert Pujols is back, and Trout's the guy who gets to hit in front of him. Some familiar names like Ian Stewart and Chris Iannetta, former National Leaguers. So Tanner Roark, how does he match up against this power hitting team? You know, the Angels lead the major leagues in home runs. Yeah, you got to keep the ball down and keep him in the park. Some of the Angels people today asking me, how will you know early if Tanner Roark has it going on? I said, everything will be down the zone. There'll be a lot of movement. He'll be pitching to a corner, moving the ball around. But his release point will be out in front on top. His curveball will be crisp. His slider will be crisp. And he'll let you know very early. Jack Burdett Shuck III, they call him JB, former Houston Astro, leads off, and that is in there. And we're underway at 7:06 with strike one from Tanner Roark. There's only one player on the Angels who's ever hit against the Nats starter, and he's in the dugout tonight. That's David Freese, the former St. Louis player. And a foul ball off to the left side. Jordan Baker, young umpire, has the plate. The crew chief is Jerry Meals at first, veteran Paul Emmels second base, and another young umpire, Toby Basner, on the third base side. Angels are 8-10. They're 5 back of Oakland. The Nats 11-8, a game and a half back of Atlanta, and the 0-2 pitch just inside. Roark, of course, seeing the Angels for the first time. 9th major league start. 18th appearance overall. Breaking ball pulled. Foul. Well, I think one of the keys of the game for Tanner Roark today is to keep the Angels in the ballpark. 49% of their runs this year, 48 out of 98 have scored via the home run. That's 3rd in all of baseball. So you keep these guys in the yard. Steve McCatty's pitchers keep the Angels in the ballpark. Got a good chance to win the game. Pretty simple. Their offense is designed to go deep. 29 team home runs, 8 more than the Nats. Target in. That looks perfect at the knees. And Jordan Baker rips the pages on JB Shuck. That JB rung up JB. And check it out. A swing back fastball from Roark right here. 2-seam. Good frame by Lobaton behind the plate. And early returns good. Down the zone. A lot of movement on the fastball from Roark. And here he is. The long-awaited appearance at Nationals Park of Mike Trout. Hitting .307, on base percentage .373, and he's right behind Pujols and homers with 5. Struck out 4 times on Saturday against the Tigers in his first at-bat on Sunday. So he had 5 consecutive at-bats where he didn't put the ball in play. Angels committed 4 errors on Sunday. They've committed 11 of their 13 errors away from their beautiful park in Southern California. No balls, 1 strike to Trout, who's leading the American League in slugging at .613. And he's 9th in RBIs with 13. High and tight, and a good pitch by Tanner Roark on 0-2. Ricard, we've never get to see him play a whole game, right? We're on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast. We're sleeping or while he's playing. But seeing him in the clubhouse today, I can't believe how big he is for the first time seeing him in person. And not just stocky, but tall as well. I mean, he walked by in the clubhouse, and you know, you watch him on TV, and he doesn't look like that big a presence in the box, right? Maybe, you know, like a fullback or
maybe a free safety, but when you stand next to this guy, I mean, he looks like you're standing next to a middle linebacker. It's impressive.
They list him at 6'2", 230. 2-2 pitch. Got him! Outside corner. And Tanner Roark has gone painting on the first two batters.
Yeah, starting that fastball inside to J.B. Shuck and running it back. This time, the backdoor two-seamer to Mike Trout. And I don't know about you, Carr, but I think Jordan Baker went to the Tim McClellan umpiring school. He has taken his time on making that strike three call.
He is. And here's Albert Pujols, who's off to a good start. Batting average at .280. By the way, that's 41 points under his career batting average. And then Tanner Roark whips a high strike in there. 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. In his 13th year, third with the Angels. A lot of injuries last year. Beautiful breaking ball.
I said he'll let you know earlier. He's letting you know right now. Fastball is good. And the first curveball of the night from Roark's a beauty. Look at that. 12-6. Pujols gave up on it. Came down for a strike. Tried to run it back.
Pujols only 99 games last year because of all the foot problems he had. Couldn't run. He could swing the bat some, but he even had trouble DHing. Fastball. And evidently, if Mr. Pujols doesn't swing, it's ball two. That was some pitch close to the corner.
I like the fact that you got really excited right there because it was a good pitch.
That was a good pitch.
And you're just wondering if Jordan Baker is going to ring him up. Good frame, didn't get the call.
Albert Pujols offered it that.
You make the call at home.
Ooh, that's close.
You're not at home.
I got texted by somebody that said, ooh, that's close. They're really quick.
They are.
Roark goes to the outside corner. Charging on a hop, Anthony Rendon. And a great first inning for Tanner Roark, who was great last time out in Miami. The Nats against Garrett Richards in a moment. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, Span, Harper, and Wirth will be the first three. The Nats are hitting .255. 6th in the league, 3rd in runs, 3rd in home runs. And Bryce, 8 for his last 20 in interleague games. And for his career, he's hitting .343 against American League clubs. How about the big day for Jose Lobaton in the number 8 spot? Helped the Nats win that game. And this is Garrett Richards, 25 years of age. Out of the University of Oklahoma, he was a first-rounder for the Angels, 42nd player drafted in '09.
Yeah, he got a good fastball, averages 95 miles an hour. He'll challenge you with it. He'll sink the fastball, throw it straight, cut the fastball. Slider's his best secondary pitch. Got a curveball to go with it. Gave up 5 runs on 8 hits his last outing against Oakland on the 15th. 7 innings, struck out 5, walked 2 through 91 pitches, 53 for strikes.
Small sample size, but in his career, at least this year, he's 2-0 at home, and the rest of his career, he's 3-7 on the road.
Yeah, righty's hitting .316 against Richards this year, which is odd, right? Righty's 6 for 19 against Richards. Lefty's 6 for 47. That's a 128 average.
Almost all the Nats seeing him for the first time. Only Lobaton and McLouth have had ABs against this right-hander. 1-1 to Denard Span. Right up the middle, well hit. Grabbed by Willie Ibar. And out on a close play at first.
Willie Ibar with some serious robbery to start this game up. That looked like it was ticketed to center field. Denard Span has been swinging the bat, folks. And you see that inside-out rotation where the ball kind of came back to Ibar up the middle. But look at this stretch, the reach, and the range of the Angels shortstop. Spin move, throw right on the money. Just getting Denard Span. What a play to start this game up.
Pardon me, I said Willie Ibar. That's his brother who's in the Tampa Bay system. This is Eric.
One of the various Ibars.
Some play. He's been the Angels shortstop since '06. He's a guy you'd never hear much about. That was some play. Eric Ibar. Here's Bryce Harper. Yeah, Bryce, if you look at the long picture here, he has hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games with a mark of .364.
.97 on the fastball from Richards right there. Fouled it straight back, and Iannetta taking the brunt of that one. That's a pitch that Bryce Harper, when he's locked in, does not miss. That fastball right down the middle, regardless of the velocity.
Harper at .292. Different year, different division, but last year the Nats in interleague play in this ballpark went 8-2. They hit .318 with 11 home runs in those 10 games and outscored the American League 54 runs to 35. 3-1 pitch. Bryce was ripping, and the count goes full.
Set the defense for the Angels behind Garrett Richards. Shuck, Trout, Bosch, your outfield. Ibar, Stewart, left side. Kendrick Pujols, right side. And Chris Iannetta behind the plate.
Raul Ibanez sidelined because of no DH in the National League ballpark. 3-2 pitch. Harper fouls it. That's pretty good news for some of the national staff, because Raul Ibanez used to wear the Nats out as a Philly. Most of that in that small ballpark up there. Then when Ryan Zimmerman comes back, he'll do some DHing. 3-2 to Bryce. Target in. Got him in. 2 down.
So round one of the much-awaited battle between Mike Trout and Bryce Harper is a push. Mike Trout striking out on a backdoor fastball that came back for strike 3, and Bryce Harper on a nasty cutter in the upper 90s, right underneath the hands, on a 3-2 pitch for a swinging strike 3.
That'll bring in Jason Worth. Had a rough series against St. Louis. He was on base twice yesterday. Walked, was hit by a pitch. But he went 1 for 16 without an RBI against Cardinal pitching. He has 10 of his 11 RBIs against the Marlins. Richards gets the outside corner.
I always feel like it's a feeling out process in interleague play, especially if you've never faced a guy before, to where you might not see the best at-bats first time around, unless you get something right down the middle and you happen to square it up. But everyone doing the research first time around.
Eric Ibar out to grab it, and the Nats, like the Angels, go 1, 2, 3. Trout and Harper. First round, they both struck out. There will be some blasts before Wednesday.
Stewart to lead it off for the Angels. That's the defense for the Nats today behind Roark. Harper, Span, Worth, your outfield. Desmond Rendon left side, Espinosa LaRoche right side, and Jose Lobaton behind the plate. Carp, did you tell the Angels broadcasters that it was Roark and not Rourke?
I did. They still got it wrong the first time they said it.
Well, I thought you shouldn't have told them. It'd been a nice little inside joke.
Well, we the broadcasters, team to team, help each other out on pronunciations. You never know when Aunt Velda may be watching somewhere, and you don't want to upset any family members. And
Aunt Velda.
Oh, Uncle Joe.
Please tweet me if you have an Aunt Velda.
I would have to tweet you.
So that's where you got Aunt Velda.
It's the first thing that came to mind.
Goodness.
This is a former Colorado Rocky, Ian Stewart, who was with the Rocks from 2007 to 2011. Cubs for a year. He spent all of last year in the minors. Cubs at Iowa, and then AAA Albuquerque, trying to get his game back to the major leagues, and he's been able to do that. Here he finds himself hitting behind Albert Pujols with a really good ball club. Stewart's a .232 career hitter.
They're banged up, missing Josh Hamilton, obviously.
He was the first high school position player ever drafted by the Rockies in the first round. And Tanner Roark has it going on tonight. 4 pretty good hitters, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, the curveball has been especially good, but it all starts with fastball command. Roark has that. Look at him spin that 12-6 hammer right there that Ian Stewart can't stay back on.
Ball hit the ground, required a tag by Lobaton. Next up, longtime Angel Howie Kendrick. .292 career hitter in 8 years, all with the Angels. All-Star game 5 years ago. He was a 10th rounder back in 2002. Out of Jacksonville, Florida. In fact, he went to junior college real close to where the Nationals trained, St. John's River Community College. A 1 pitch upstairs. And FP, I really think, and even though they brought Pujols over and they got Josh Hamilton, I think the Angels lost a lot when Torrey Hunter went to Detroit. That's one of the best clubhouse guys in baseball.
A pretty good player, too.
Yeah, he seems kind of ageless. And that's the first hit of the game as Howie Kendrick, who's 8th in the American League with 23 hits, goes right up the middle. Speaking of the Tigers, that'll bring in a former Detroit player, outfielder Brennan Bosch, pardon me, who's only played in 4 games, has a couple of hits. They signed him as a minor league free agent back in January. He was with the Yankees last year for just 23 games, with most of his career with Detroit. Brennan Bosch.
And Kendrick with 3 stolen bases on the year, and thus the throw over from Roark.
Angels 11 of 13 running. In the air, left center. Coming back to Bryce Harper. 2 down.
When the Nats win, you win all season long. When the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu prices at papajohns.com by entering promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Washington Nationals, valid at participating D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia. Papa John's.
Sounding pretty passionate about your pizza tonight. I hope we get 7.
I'll take a kale pizza.
Eric Ibar, younger brother of Willie, who we mentioned earlier. A couple guys have been in the big leagues for a while. That one straight back. Actually higher than our booth before it came down, and we don't see many of those.
We see comets, but we don't see those.
Eric Ibar, 30 years of age, switch hitting shortstop, and a .277 career hitter. He's piled up some pretty good stolen base numbers in his career. He's stolen as many as 30 in the 20s, a couple of other times.
See, what Kendrick does when he gets his lead is great. He looks like he's going every pitch, so he doesn't vary and change when he really is stealing. You never can tip it off if you always look like you're ready to run. See how he's kind of flinching right there? That's what good base stealers do. They look the same every single time. They don't just stand up and relax with one pitch and then get down and into a more crouched stance when they're stealing, because the other dugout's looking at you as a base runner. And if you do anything different, if you flinch your left pinky different when you steal, teams will pick up on it and they'll pitch out. Good base stealers always look like they're running.
Kendrick started stop, and it's a good thing he did. Good call by Matt Williams on the pitch out.
Well, he read the pitch out. He rolled his head after the second step. He was stealing right there, and he had some kind of jump. Watch. Good base stealers also look for the catcher to pop out. Kendrick did, and he went back. Smart base running. Williams guessed right, but Kendrick read it better.
And the breaking ball taken in the dirt, counts even 2-2. FP mentioned Kendrick, 3 steals in 5 attempts this year, 84 in his career. And plenty of attention right now. Breaking ball hanging, hammered into right field. Kendrick easily to third with 2 outs. Angels as a team hitting only .244 this year, 9th out of 15 teams in the American League, but they're 3rd in runs.
Yeah, Ibar been scuffling for the Angels. Nice piece of hitting right there. Stays out on the curveball. That's a good deep. Uses the hole created by Kendrick for a little 2-out 1st and 3rd. Nice job on the curveball. That one stayed up. The first one that has stayed up for Roark so far.
Struggling he was, 2 for 22 coming into that AB. So here's Chris Iannetta, another former Colorado player, their catcher. He's hitting a .195, but he has 5 RBIs in his last 5 games.
This is where you have to be really careful because it's an American League team with pitchers that aren't used to hitting. You have Garrett Richards on deck.
2 career at-bats, by the way.
2 career at-bats, and he's really not even on deck right now. Here he comes. But you do have a base open at second. You'd load him up, but you have a guy that has never really hit on deck.
Breaking ball outside. Iannetta hit 18 home runs one year in Colorado. 9 and 11 in his 2 years with the Angels.
And this is where I feel like, Carp, that American League teams are really at a disadvantage in interleague play when they're on the road. Just because the pitchers have to hit.
Yeah, we talk about that every year. Yet, American League teams always seem to have the edge over the National League. Now, this year, as I mentioned earlier, it's close. Only 32 games so far. American 17, National 15.
You lose one of your best hitters in your DH for a guy that never hits.
Yeah. And a 1-2 coming. Roark paints the outside. At least he thought he did. And he was heading for the dugout, but Jordan Baker didn't give him the call.
Well, it's a call he's gotten already a couple of times in this game, so he figured that he hit the spot that he's hit twice already. No real movement from Lobaton's glove.
And when we get our pitch track up and running again, we'll be able to show you how close some of these fastballs are. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that was outside. And if you walk him, so be it. Better than giving up an RBI hit. very, very close, and the bases are loaded.
Well, that was a good job by Tanner Roark right there. He was trying to make the perfect pitch on Chris Iannetta. He 0-2'd him, and what I mean by that is he threw every pitch like he was heading the count 0-2, trying to shave off corners, get him to bite on something off the plate. Wasn't leaving anything down the middle to give up a run, and now he'll face Garrett Richards, like Carp said, 2 at-bats in his career. Doesn't mean he's an automatic out, but I mean, you'd rather face a guy that hasn't hit before, right?
Got to throw strikes. Didn't do it on the first one.
Boy, you should see the ant names that are coming up on my Twitter, Carp. Unbelievable.
Well, you don't want your aunt to hear an announcer mispronouncing your name.
There's some Aunt Veldas, some Aunt Velvas, a couple of Aunt Velmas. Aunt Shelva.
Any Aunt Louises to go with Velma?
There's an Aunt Shelva.
Oh, boy. That's a strike. Pitch count mounting a bit for Roark. He only threw 16 in the first inning with 2 strikeouts.
Pretty good hack right there by Richards. Leaving nothing in the bag on the slider, I believe, from Roark. Not getting cheated.
One out single, 2 out base hit and walk. Kendrick, Iannetta aboard. And a 2-2 slider. And you can exhale, folks. First 2 innings. Nats haven't given up any runs tonight. It'll be Adam LaRoche, Anthony Rendon, and Ian Desmond straight ahead.
It's not too late to become a 2014 Nats season plan holder. Great plans are still available for purchase. Get the lowest prices, exclusive season plan holder benefits. Purchase your full, half, or partial season plan by calling 202-675-NATS or visiting nationals.com/2014.
Honda with our due-ups for the Nats here, bottom of the second. What they did in interleague play last year. Anthony Rendon wore out American League pitching. Adam and Desmond, very good. Look at the homers, the extra base hits, and the RBIs. Adam LaRoche at .297, 8th best on base percentage in the National League at .416, thanks to a lot of hits and 13 walks. 12 pitches, 8 strikes for Garrett Richards in the first inning.
Pretty good movement on that 96.
Angels have played 3 interleague games this year. They took 2 out of 3 against the Mets April 11th, 12th, and 13th out of the Big A in Anaheim. Mike Scioscia. Nobody's had their job longer in Major League Baseball than him. Quite a run. 15th year with the Angels. Gotten them into postseason several times. Won a World Series.
Richards throwing nothing straight at 96 and 97 miles an hour. He's throwing LaRoche 2 cut fastballs and 2 two-seam fastballs, and they're moving everywhere.
Nasty breaking ball. Adam LaRoche got a good hack at that. Bruce Bochy with the Padres and the Giants ahead of Scioscia in wins among active managers. But the ex-catcher, a 2-time American League Manager of the Year, 6 playoffs, 5 division titles, and their all-time winningest manager. That is really well hit to left. And over to grab it, J.B. Shuck.
Hit it too hard. But that's what LaRoche has been doing so much better this year than last, is using the whole field. We always talk about his batting practice and staying inside the ball, going the other way. You know, he'll take his hits the other way, and if you make a mistake he can still shoot you out of the yard to the pole side. But that was a good at-bat, hit it hard.
Anthony Rendon is next. Rendon coming off a 4-for-16 weekend with a homer, 2 RBIs, and a walk. Checks in at .320. 3rd in the league in extra base hits. 5th in multi-hit games with 8. And he's 6th in total bases, thanks to those extra base hits. Richards got inside on Rendon that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hard to get out in this ballpark. Outfield around to the right a bit. A lot of room down the left field line. Big gap left center. Then Anthony stays alive and hit it right past Ian Desmond. Richards 7-8, 17 starts last year for the Angels. He also worked 30 games out of the bullpen. Major league record of 13-13 coming in, 33rd career start. Close. Ball 2.
That's a good take.
Chris Iannetta threw his mitt out as if to say good pitch to his battery mate.
It was a good pitch. He was going for the punch out, but Rendon saw it early.
And into right field, Brennan Bosch. 5 in a row to start the game for Richards.
It's that time, folks. Tweet your photo using hashtag #MASSANationals for a chance to have it shown in our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T.
Beautiful night at the ballpark. Breeze kicking up just a bit, but it's blowing from the south tonight out toward left field. Here's Desmond. Ian's still waiting for some of those multi-hit games, but he has hit safely in 6 of his last 7.
Now, he, like Jason Worth, has really been worked the outer half early in this season. I mean, you have back-to-back 2020 seasons as a shortstop. Really hasn't got challenged. You look at the RBIs, 12 for Desmond. Rendon leading the ball club with 14, but everything on the outer half, and this guy hasn't thrown anything straight this game. I mean, 96, 97 with cut and sink. This guy's got a great arm.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, first rounder. Supplemental pick in between the rounds, first and second. 42nd overall player taken back in 09. .96 with cut.
I mean, that was basically a slider. He just kind of yanked the cutter across right there. But watch the movement on this. I mean, usually this is 86 in a slider, folks. This is 96. Look at that movement. Nice catch even to grab that by Iannetta.
Holds on way too long there. How about that 09 draft? 24 teams passed on Mike Trout. Tomorrow night starter Tyler Skaggs, and then Richards right after that. Nobody passed on Harper. 3-2. Slider. Oh, and Desmond's going to be punched out. He thought he had walked. So the young umpire having an interesting evening around that outside corner. No score, third inning. Straight ahead. With the treats, top of the third inning here. Angels 6-3 against the Nats since 05. Head-to-head, subject of our STG inside the numbers. Run advantage for the Halos, much better batting average. Nats the edge in homers. Davey Johnson's first series as Nationals manager was in Anaheim 3 years ago.
And I believe the last game of that series was Jordan Zimmerman versus Dan Herron, and Jordan went complete game loss, 1-0.
Long run off the bat of J.B. Shuck for Anthony Rendon. Who had a long way to go. Harper playing way off the line.
That good hustle by Anthony Rendon. See him take his eye off the ball, checking the fence, finding the ball. Couldn't get there, but a nice effort.
And that ball rolled over to the right side. LaRoche not at first, and Roark is, and the Angels are angry about the call. And here comes Mike Scioscia. Danny Espinosa to Tanner Roark on a 4-1. And J.B. Shuck has not left the bag yet. Alfredo Griffin, the coach there, they're going to discuss it with crew chief Jerry Meals.
Well, Alfredo Griffin went nuts shaking his finger at Jerry Meals, and he looks safe from up here. They say never slide into first. It's slower, and you would think after what happened to Josh Hamilton that that's been outlawed with the Angels, but apparently it isn't, and he's safe. Just strange to see an Angel dive into first base after Josh Hamilton was lost with that injury to his hand.
Yeah.
Do you see the sports science on the actual time into first base, whether you're sliding or running through it? Actually, when you lunge yourself forward at that moment, they had two runners and kind of the outline, the silhouettes of the runner running through the base and the guy diving. The guy that diving, as soon as he left his feet and launched himself forward, was actually in front of the guy running. But as soon as your heels come off the ground, you actually cause drag and slow yourself down, and the runner passes the guy that dove into the bag. And then obviously when you hit the ground, there's lots of friction with the dirt, and that slows you down as well. And they did it a number of times, and they said running through the base is much faster than sliding, but he's trying to beat Tanner Roark to the base, and that's why he dove, and you can see his hand beating the foot. I mean, that's a simple one. I think they're going to put the runner at first, Shuck.
Angels get their leadoff man aboard. Call overturned. That'll bring in Mike Trout with the leadoff man aboard, and the Angels have their third base hit. Trout struck out looking first time up. Tanner Roark able to paint the outside corner on him. J.B. Shuck has not attempted a stolen base.
So we're being told that last shot we showed you with the Exmo was the definitive shot they used at the headquarters in New York. Which is like in the Statue of Liberty, right? I heard. Is that right?
I think it's a little more modern than that.
Oh, all right. I just thought that's where it was.
Not a tourist attraction, the War Room up there. And it's 2-0 to a very dangerous hitter.
Like I said, second time around for both clubs should be interesting after doing research. Your first at bat.
That's similar to the pitch he used to strike out Mike Trout first inning. Last year, Miguel Cabrera had the monster year for the Tigers. Trout probably a better all-around player.
I think he's the best all-around player in the game.
Outfield, period. Speed, arm. Cabrera, an adequate defender. But his offensive numbers are so amazing. And that ball slammed off Jose Lobaton. And Jordan Baker, the umpire, may go for a walk and give Jose a moment to let things stop vibrating.
So you want to be a big league catcher, this is a direct hit.
Ooh.
Old school mask. And that can't feel good.
We've seen umpires put their hands on the back of catchers to keep them upright. So the count's 2-2. And Trout will hit it hard into right field. That breaks an 0 for 9 for him. First and second with Albert Pujols coming up.
Oh, what a nice swing. Letting the ball get deep right there. Trying to hit behind the runner in a 2-1 count. Not trying to do too much and leave earth. Just taking what the game gives you. Tanner Roark's been away mostly to Trout. Look at him go down there and dig this ball out. Head right to the baseball. It's a good swing. I think I told you the other day, he went first to third against Oakland the other night at home on a shot up the middle to center field and just turned on the jets going around second base. And I knew he was fast, Carp. Didn't know he was that fast. Just had a different gear coming around second.
Pujols hits one to the left side. Could be two. Espinosa turns it on a busted bat and a badly needed double play for the Nationals.
Well, it was all about Mike Trout going into Danny Espinosa, and if Espinosa could withhandle the breakup slide of Trout. So nobody holding Trout on at first base, right? First and second, nobody out. He's going to get a good jump on this grounder. Look at where he's starting. So now you're just wondering, is he going to blow up Espinosa? But Danny does a nice job of using the bag as the protection right there. And watch him back off, actually use the bag as the protection. And even though he's kind of making contact with Trout, who give Mike Trout credit, that was a good clean slide in a second. But give Danny Espinosa more credit right there on how he backed away from the bag and used it to protect him. That was nice. And you have to have a strong arm, Clark, to be able to do that. You can't, as a second baseman, fall into left center field on the turn and still get something on the ball unless you have a cannon. That was a great turn.
Now 2 outs. Runner at third. Ian Stewart has taken a strike. Roark got him first time on a breaking ball in the dirt once he got him to 2 strikes. Target in, probably a fastball. Tries to run it back to the inside edge, didn't get it. 1-1.
Pretty big double play.
Pujols has bounced into 5 of those this year. He always did do that a lot because he hits the ball so hard, even on the ground. And on a pitch up, it is skied to center, and Denard Span is waiting. Tanner Roark in the twilight of Nationals Park gives up 2 singles, double play ball, and that helped him get out of the inning.
As a second baseman for you younger players, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can come across the bag, clear yourself, and throw it this way. You can back off the bag this way and throw it. Or you can do what Danny Espinosa did and use the bag as protection. But you have to have a strong arm. Ian Desmond does a nice job of giving him a good feed. That's step number 1. Now watch him back off and get away from the bag and Mike Trout, and use the bag basically to stop Mike Trout's momentum. If you're on top of the bag there, that's where you can lose a knee. But you can either clear yourself toward the throw, you can back off away from the throw, Or you can do what Espinosa did right there and back off and use the bag as your guard. That was nice.
Well, Danny Espinosa standing tall in the box lately, hitting .364 in his last 11 games, .313 for the season. And overall, he's .324 from this side of the plate. Man, he tried to drag a pitch that was coming right at him. Self-defense bunt.
A little cutter right here. Look at it, just chasing Espinosa. And I think if it was up, he's trying to bunt that to second base. You know, talking to the Angels people before the game about Garrett Richards, he doesn't know whether the ball's going to sink or cut. And if you watch Chris Iannetta, he's just putting one down. Meaning it's a fastball. And Iannetta doesn't know which way it's going to go either. Watch if it's a fastball.
0-2 to the Nats, number 7 hitter. And Espinosa takes one that just misses. And now we see a reaction from their pitcher. Thought he had a strikeout. What does Mercedes-Benz think?
Well, you never want to turn your back on a major league umpire if you're a pitcher like Richards does right here. He's thinking it's strike 3. They're going to throw it around and doesn't get the call.
That was some kind of breaking ball straight down. Espinosa skipping out of there.
He's having an eventful at bat.
Barely missed him
after just getting almost pummeled by Mike Trout.
Wow.
A lot of jumping around going. And Jordan Baker appreciates the effort from Chris Iannetta right there with nobody on blocking the ball. Should get him a call somewhere in the game while he's hitting.
No score, bottom of the third. Espinosa, Lobaton, Roark here. And Danny Espinosa unable to get that one. Third strikeout by Garrett Richards.
Well, we've been talking about it. The Angels here through the 21st to 23rd. I know a lot of fans are disappointed me for lying to him that it was just going to be Bryce Harper versus Mike Trout, and the rest of the guys actually did show up. But you can purchase your game tickets by calling 202-675-NATS or visiting nationals.com/tickets. Well, Bryce said as much before the game today. He said, hey, there's 8 other guys on my team, and there's 8 other guys that are going to be out there tonight on Mike Trout's team, too. It's not just me against him.
Jose Lobaton first at bat. And he's still perfect in his career against Garrett Richards. Out deep into the gap. Here he comes. Here comes the throw, and they've got him. He started walking away before Paul Emmel even signaled the call. Great throw by J.B. Shuck, the left fielder.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. So let's cover that one first and foremost. And watch the throw by J.B. Shuck, who's having a fantastic ball game so far. He legged out the single with the head first slide, and the assists from left field, a bullet right on the money.
Lobaton, by the way, 5 career plate appearances against Garrett Richards. He's now 2 for 2 with 3 walks. Only Nat starter who's ever faced this guy. And Roark will chop one out to short. On the move, Eric Ibar. And the Nats are done in the third. They collect their first hit, but Richards has faced the minimum 9 so far. Both teams flashing some pretty good defense in this one. The Association for Global Security Professionals is AFCEA. And here's Mass and Dan with our sideline report. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Bob. You guys have talked a lot about the Harper-Trout matchup today, even though they're not really facing each other. It's not a one-on-one thing. These two actually got to know each other fairly well when they were on the same team together in the Arizona Fall League in 2011. That was a very talented roster with these two and with Will Middlebrooks, who's the third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. We talked to Mike Trout earlier today about his relationship with Harper on that team. He said there was a lot of hype going into that team, but we were terrible. That team, despite as much talent as they had, wildly underperformed in terms of standings. But as I said, these two developed a pretty solid relationship. They still text from time to time. After Harper's third deck home run here at Nats Park a couple weeks ago, Trout texted him and said, "Did you get jammed on that ball?" So they've maintained a relationship over the years and kind of have a nice fallback to lean on when one of them is going through some struggles or needs someone to talk to.
No, they should be texting for a long, long time.
I wonder if they text 29292 to each other, though.
That runner was safe.
Now, the future of the game. The young studs.
Roark, nice breaking ball away. Howie Kendrick was reaching for that, and Danny Espinosa throws him out. Fourth inning underway in good fashion for the Nats pitcher. Inside the numbers with STG Inc. Mike Trout's played about 80 games more in his career than Bryce Harper. He's a year older. Has the edge in batting average, slugging, home runs, steals. And someday Bryce will hopefully catch up. I want to see these numbers 10 years from now.
Yeah, Trout off to an early lead in every category, basically. The one thing that Bryce Harper probably has on Mike Trout is Mike Trout's arm is below average, where Bryce's is a cannon, as we all know. I mean, that's like breaking up with a supermodel because she has spinach in her teeth. But, I mean, Mike Trout is the best all-around player.
Who would know how that feels?
The best all-around player in baseball by far.
Oh, boy. Get her a toothbrush. Breaking ball in the dirt, too. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You caught me off guard with that analogy.
Sorry. I mean, basically, there's nothing wrong with the guy. But
2-1, by the way, the count.
Bryce probably more raw power if you want to play like home run derby for distance. But other than that, Mike Trout just 2 monster years back to back.
91 on that one, and a bouncer. Danny Espinosa, this time from the right field grass. And I think Danny Espinosa is really enjoying being in there every day right now. You go into the season after this so-called battle down in Florida for the second base job, which I think was Rendon's right from the beginning. But it's got to be so good for him to be out there every day. He just didn't know how much action he was going to get.
Yeah, and he's just a different dude. Happy, smiling, talking to everybody. Has a different attitude about the game, and you know, this game has a way of humbling you when you're a young player and making the most of his second go. And it's gonna be interesting how he reacts when Ryan Zimmerman comes back. But you know, as a bench player, Matt Williams said he's going to get him in. He's going to keep him in the lineup. And when he comes off the bench late in the game, just this spell right here, this month or 2 or month and a half, however it is, of playing is going to help him.
Pitch way upstairs, and Ibar, who singled solidly to right field first time, able to lay off. So Eric Ibar trying to get off the interstate. That base hit broke up a 2 for 22. He was mired in. And he's going to have his second hit, and he is off to the races. Ball comes off the wall hard for Worth, and that's good for the Nats. Keeps him at second base with 2 outs.
Eric Ibar saying, hey guys, I'm seeing him well, let's go. Second hit for Ibar in as many at-bats. And you call the card. This ball hits the fence and stays. It's a triple. But it ricochets so hard that comes right back to Worth. And that, in essence, is what holds Ibar at second base with two outs, so not really a big deal. 1 out, it would have been a bigger deal. And now they're going to walk 8 to get to 9.
And we are all for that. Interesting. I just poked my head in Matt Williams' office this afternoon and said, Skipper, I got one question for you. Mike Matheny had 5 infielders yesterday in that situation in the 9th inning. I said, is that something you would do? He said, I absolutely would do that.
They did.
And he said, in fact, I did it in my 3rd spring training game.
Yeah.
The Nats did that.
He brought in Steven Souza Jr. into the infield.
And he said it made all the sense in the world for Matheny yesterday because Craig, by nature, is an infielder. And so, you know, I told him, I said, I hope we don't have to see that situation all year, but now we've had the conversation, and, you know, thanks for the preview. And he said, no, we would absolutely do that.
Last-ditch effort. You bring in the 5-man infield. Felipe Alou used to use it in Montreal, and I was the guy that came in from the outfield to the infield. And you're just trying to plug every hole and keep the ball down and hope somebody hits it right at somebody.
A ground ball you're looking for there?
Yeah, because the sac fly is going to win it regardless if you have 3 or 2 outfielders. That's a philosophy.
I guess Seth Maness threw span a whole bunch of sinkers and then tried to go change up, and Denard won the game on that pitch.
What if you went 5-man outfield in that situation? Because your guy's a fly ball pitcher.
Yeah. I maybe 4. I don't know about 5.
All right, it's time to go home. We're tired, and we're going to go 5-man outfield.
Richards struck out first time with the bases loaded, and that's outside 1-1. I can just hear our friends down the way, Victor Rojas and Mark Gubicza, bad-mouthing the absence of the DH right now on Angels TV.
Probably. Although Gubicza, an ex-pitcher, is probably digging the fact that some of these guys get too bad. But Mike Sosa, very outspoken. He doesn't let his guys hit. It's all they do is practice bunting for interleague play, but he doesn't want his pitchers getting hurt swinging the bat too much when, you know, they're an American League team and they really don't need to.
Everybody's playing really way back right now. Casey's thinking about laying one down. It's a 2-1 count. He's going to chop it to the right side, and Danny Espinosa will have all the assists in the top of the 4th inning. Tanner Roark doing nothing but putting zeros on the board. It'll be Span, Harper, and Work. Bottom 4 coming up. Online AOL here tonight. Nice seats. Nice effort for Tanner Roark so far, and a really nice at bat yesterday, FP, by Denard Span, who fouled off a whole bunch of pitches.
You see the deep breath right there. No matter how many times you've been in those situations with the game on the line, you get the butterflies going. It's up to you to control your adrenaline with the crowd on their feet, not swinging anything in the dirt. Denard Span did a great job right there, fouling off some pitches, getting that last one, and then getting doused by his bullpen buddies. But we were just hoping with the whole concussion thing that nobody patted him too hard on the head after the game winner yesterday.
Yeah, I want to know who's the guy who took off his helmet at the start of that. Come on. Denard robbed of a hit on a good play by Eric Ibar. First time up tonight. On the grass at 30 in Stewart. Pujols not too deep at first. In fact, Howie Kendrick not that deep at second. He looks like he's ready to charge a bunt. And that's ball one. The only deep infielder is the shortstop. Counts even 1-1. Everybody in the division playing tonight. Miami's at Atlanta. 1-0 Marlins, third inning. Phillies at LA later. And the Mets leading St. Louis 1-0. Bottom of the fourth up at Citi Field. 1-1 to Span. A little bit high.
It almost hit.
And Iannetta catches it on a fly off the backstop.
It almost killed Steve Case.
He almost got knocked offline.
He almost had to merge with Time Warner all over
the catch.
Again. Watch this. Steve Case, heads up. Look out.
Oh, it did hit the ground.
And a nice catch on the rebound.
Iannetta, nice reaction. 2-1, that's outside. Nats would love a leadoff man on. Kind of a crazy game yesterday. They stranded a team record 17 runners in beating St. Louis, and they seldom had their leadoff man on. A couple of hits, they would have won that game in a blowout.
Well, they're getting guys on. That's the good news.
That is.
Look out, everybody.
Wow. Garrett Richards trying to take a couple letters off the Nationals Park sign. And Washington has its second base runner.
We should show fans in the first row more often, because we show Steve Case. And another ricochet right back to where it came from on a hop. That's like throwing the ball off your garage door with the tennis ball when you were a kid, right? Yep, they tell him to calm down.
So here's Bryce Harper.
It's a good take by Span, laying off that pitch.
Great knowledge of the strike zone up on top of each other. Two zones there. Well, here's Bryce. Richards got him down and in. First time up. That's where the target is here. And that's a breaking ball that almost hit him. Span on a very wild pitch down to second base.
Good read by Span. Saw it in the dirt, took off immediately, was there easily. And right now, Garrett Richards needs to calm down a little bit. And I think Chris Iannetta is going to go out there and try to do it. Right now, the wheels are coming off. 2 to the screen on fastballs, and then about a 58-foot curveball right there. It almost hit Bryce Harper. Span off to the races, and basically a leadoff double here in the fourth for the Nats.
Ball was right next to Chris Iannetta. Took him a while to find it. Crowd still buzzing about some of the offerings they've seen in this inning. So 3 of the last 6 pitches have gone haywire. Then he misses down with 96, ball 2. Outside, ball 3.
Boy, I used to tell my hitters in A-ball all the time, Carp, if the wheels are coming off from a guy, don't help him. Let him self-implode out there, meaning if a guy's not throwing strikes or he's not near the strike zone, just let it happen. Don't force the issue as a hitter. Kind of tone back your aggressive nature for a little bit until you see him get back in the strike zone. And then when he shows you he's made the mechanical adjustments and can throw strikes again, then you get back aggressive with him. But right now, if you're a Nats hitter, just let what's happening happen.
And you saw a little bit of that at the A-ball level, didn't you?
Yes. We saw some snowball fights, and we said, hey, this guy's in a snowball fight right now. Just let him continue. And
that last pitch was interesting, FP. Mike Butcher was out of the dugout as that pitch arrived at the catcher, as if he could see right out of the pitcher's hand it was going to be a dangerous pitch. And I've never seen a pitching coach out of the dugout that quickly. We're having an extended discussion here with Jordan Baker and the infield as well as the pitching coach. They threw out the ball asking for a new one. Maybe that'll help. Mike Scioscia suddenly wondering what's happening. Three 3-0 to Bryce Harper. Good hitters coming up. 95 right in there. If he sees another one like that, he'll be wailing. Two on, nobody out on a pair of walks. And Jason Worth is due. He'll step in, RBI situation.
Even though there's nobody out right here, and Denard Span gets a jump, he'll go. We'll keep an eye on Garrett Richards and see what his delivery looks like with a runner on second base. Pretty quick. Matt Williams talking about that before the game today, when asked about, a lot of guys haven't stoled yet, and there hasn't been a lot of stolen bases. He said, well, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity either. You can't just steal to steal. If a guy's quick to the plate, you can't force the issue, and they really haven't had a chance yet to consistently run.
Worth. Kind of a backup slider near the inside corner there. He tried to open up and get to it. And now he's got to fight. It's 0-2. He's been good in situations like this, so you kind of toss out the 1 for 17 he's in right now, because Worth, it's just his nature to change a ball game with one swing when there are men on base. And there was a sound like it hit him, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
A little chirping there from Jason Worth. He's not happy. And that was not intentional by any means, but every time a ball comes up around your head as a player, it'll scare you. And then you get the adrenaline of the game, and sometimes words are exchanged. And right there, Jason Worth had a little something to say to Garrett Richards.
Well, he got hit yesterday on a pitch up and in, got him off of that pad you talked about on his front hand.
The initial reaction is you're scared. It's coming at your head. And then all of a sudden, you start to realize there's no way he wanted to hit you. But he's still messing with your livelihood when you start going up around the coconut.
Yeah. 2 or 3 syllables from Jason there. And right off the elbow pad, fortunately.
Wow, it was right at his head. Just got the elbow up at the last second.
What does Adam LaRoche expect here?
3 free base runners in this inning.
Ball 1. Interesting shift by the Angels. 3 infielders on the right field side of the infield. Pujols even with the bag, and over at third base, Ian Stewart has to stay home because of runners nearby. Outfield deep. Story ran right, but the other way, center and left. And a bouncing ball. They'll try to turn 2. LaRoche will be able to get there on a good takeout by Jason Worth. So you hit me with a pitch, I'll take your guy out and not let you turn a double play. Nationals lead 1-0, and LaRoche's 11th RBI.
Well, I feel like the word chippy is used too much. But I'm going to use it right now. Let's get a little bit chippy right here. Watch Jason Worth, and that's what you do as a base runner. You get hit. Watch the late slide going to get Eric Ibar, and Ibar kind of gives him a look as he goes by. But whenever you get hit, you've seen it happen a million times. And middle infielder, you know, especially since Worth had some words with Garrett Richards, that as an infielder, you better get out of the way on a ground ball. And Worth went to get somebody right there.
A look. Jason Worth knows he created an RBI for his teammate. Now here's Anthony Rendon. Rendon flied to right first time. That's a high strike out on the edge. So without the benefit of a hit this inning, Washington takes the lead. Anthony Rendon, as we mentioned earlier, the team leader in RBIs with 14. And hitting .350 with runners in scoring position. So it's interesting. He's been provided a lot of opportunities. Rendon this year, 76 previous at-bats, and 20 of them in situations to drive in some runs. Rendon is hitting .500 innings 7, 8, and 9 this year. Trying to warm it up here early. Good take.
I tell you, these aren't easy at bats, especially with what's transpired with Richards this inning. As a hitter, you have to tell yourself, dig in. He's going to figure it out. He's going to throw a strike. It's not coming at my head. But, you know, this inning right here is the very definition of an uncomfortable at bat if you're a Nats hitter.
Little chopper to first. Pujols bare hand comes home and out on the tag by Iannetta.
Ian Desmond is telling Matt Williams in the on-deck circle to challenge it right now. Matt Williams going to come out and stall for time while the clubhouse looks at it. And it's hard for us to tell way up here. It looked like Bryce might have gotten his hand in there. We couldn't see where the tag is. Bryce wasn't animated, but Ian Desmond was.
So Jordan Baker with Matt Williams.
Good play by Pujols on the bare hand, huh? Getting rid of it quick. Good throw on the money. Bat in the way. And did he tag Bryce Harper? And is it conclusive? What do you got? I don't think that's the angle they'll use. They might use this one, though. Bat in the way. Got him on the shoulder. I don't think that's going to be overturned, and I don't think Matt's going to review it because he got the thumbs down. Yeah, got him right there. That was close, though.
Albert Pujols has won a couple of Gold Gloves in his career. And that was a fine play, kind of like a third baseman with a backhand throw. I mean, a bare hand throw. So it's up to Ian Desmond now with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Angels are playing him really deep. Struck out looking first time. And that's right in there.
The play at the plate has been, you know, all the rage this year too. And watch Iannetta right there, foot in fair territory where it's supposed to be, catches a throw from Pujols, comes back and makes the tag, and did it perfectly. That's how the tag play at home probably will be forever, just like that. No more collisions.
Bryce didn't argue at all. Oh, Desmond just gave away ball 3. Counts even 2-2. Fastball low. Ian couldn't stop. Harper didn't really say anything, didn't object, just kind of walked away. 2-out hits to drive in runs have been hard to come by. The Nats have had a wealth of base runners. And Desmond breaks his bat on a ground ball right side to Howie Kendrick. So Washington gets 2 walks, a wild pitch, a hit batter, and it's a LaRoche ground ball for a 1-0 lead.
The 4th to go up 1-0. We are heading to the top of the 5th. Adam LaRoche, 11th RBI this season. Tanner Roark doing his thing. Garrett Richards, really all in all, did a nice job of damage control right there. It's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington, Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. But Tanner Roark has been down the zone, and we said early he'll let you know what kind of night it's going to be. Good movement on the 2-seamer. He's run it back for strike 3 to Mike Trout. Trout didn't agree with the call and then got a big 6-4-3 double play to end, well, to get 2 outs in the 3rd after runners were on 1st and 2nd with nobody out. So Roark doing his thing.
Here's J.B. Shuck, who had the infield hit last time on the overrule on a bang-bang play from Espinosa to Roark. Mike Scioscia on the appeal, and they gave him the base hit. And Shuck will drive it to center. Denard Span right there. 3rd at bat now for Mike Trout. Nationals Park, Monday, April 21st, coming off a 4-game split against St. Louis. Game 5 of an 11-game homestand. Angels for 3, Padres for 4.
Cardinals, Angels, Padres.
We should have called this homestand Holy Week.
We should have.
Feel like you're playing heaven for a week and a half.
I'm just feeling lucky I haven't spontaneously combusted sitting next to him.
Yeah, we might see a miracle or 2 this week. Trout has struck out looking, singled hard to right field. Somebody had to know they were doing this when they made the schedule. Ooh, that was a slider sitting up for Mike Trout, and he didn't react quickly enough. The 1-1 pitch. Got in on his hands, and a routine fly to Span, who barely had to move. Tanner Roark moving the ball around well.
Well, that's how it goes, right, Carb? You get line drive single to right field your last time up. Now you see the ball in the inner half, but when you go in to Mike Trout, you better get it in there, and he did. He tied him up and got the routine fly ball.
Tanner Roark gave up 3 runs to the Marlins in the 4th inning last Wednesday down in Miami, but he went 6 1/3. So he's only had 1 rough inning in terms of giving up runs in his last 11 plus. Here's Pujols, and that double play ball was a momentum changer back in the 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's an amazing career stat on this guy. Coming into this year, Albert Pujols in his major league career had struck out 835 times. That's in 12 years. He has walked 1,067 times. What power hitter does that? And I think I remember that they were comparing that to other sluggers, and the last guy to really do that sort of thing was Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, be careful right here. I mean, there's no need to get brave.
2-1, and that's ripped. Great backhand. Rendon, time to throw. Beautiful play. Top of the fifth over.
Just a bullet down the third baseline. Rendon with the reaction play, diving to his right. Knows he has time right here because of the speed of Pujols. Makes a nice throw across the diamond and robs Albert Pujols of a double.
The Nats tonight. Danny Espinosa, great day yesterday. Single in the fourth, walk in the sixth, and this RBI single left in the seventh, and then with one out, he would single in the ninth to set up the win.
Yeah, the swing is so smooth and easy, not a lot of effort to it. This one was ruled a hit between the wickets of Matt Carpenter at third base, and then Denard Span came up and finished the job and sent us all home.
And this little grounder rolled over to Albert Pujols for the first out, bottom of the fifth. Espinosa 0 for 2 tonight. And Jose Lobaton obviously had a plan the last time he came in. He attacked Garrett Richards on the first pitch, lined it hard to the gap in left center, and he was thrown out at second base by J.B. Shuck. But if you missed it, career against Richards, he's now 5 out of 5 getting on base. 3 walks, 2 hits career. He did see a first pitch fastball, but it missed.
There's certain guys, and we've talked about it, that throw a lot of strikes that you don't want to get to a 2-strike count, so the game plan is hack, be aggressive. And there's certain guys that haven't established the zone consistently. I think the game plan right now should be get Garrett Richards in the zone.
Yeah.
Take a little out of your aggressive nature as a hitter and make him throw strikes.
And he still hasn't gotten Jose Lobaton out.
Natitude Flex Packs are back for 2014. Pick 4 games and get the 5th 4 free. Choose from 5 different packs, including the bobblehead and concert flex packs. Carp, we're going to do a bobblehead of you because you've been here long enough. I want to see one of you. Some restrictions apply. Visit nationals.com/flex for details. Your scorebook open on your lap. Headphones on.
You off to the side tormenting me.
70s tie.
And you think they're that new.
I'll tell you what, I would be in line for that.
Oh, boy.
I think it'd be awesome.
Strike one to Tanner Roark, who has 2 sacrifices this year and 3 in his career. He's a good athlete. He can handle the bat. Nats would love to push Lobaton to second, give Span a chance to make it 2-0. Just going to go foul.
Can't be a comfortable bunt, right?
Nope.
The way Denard's been swinging the bat, this becomes a big pitch and big moment in this ballgame.
That's a foul ball. So it's a strikeout, and they will send Lobaton back to first base.
Well,
ball never got out of the batter's box.
Socha sent his bench coach down to look to the phone to talk to the clubhouse on this, and they might review this play.
Now,
and if they do review it, my question to you is, and I know where you're going with this, is it a double play? I mean, it's called foul, right?
Yeah. Well, and part of the batter's box is in fair territory, but it's the very front, where the baselines come in and then eventually line up with the tip of home plate.
It doesn't look like they're going to review it.
And that ball appeared to me to be in the back of the batter's box, which is foul territory. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
So strikeout number 4 on a bunt. And the inning's still alive. But you bring up a great point. Possible inning-ending double play.
But can you call it a double play because you said foul ball, the batter's out on a strike, and he didn't run?
Yeah. Ooh, Span trying to bunt for a hit. And if he guides that one fair, he'd be standing on first base. But the Nats are getting a lot done offensively with only 1 hit. And that guy, Lobaton, 2 innings ago was erased, trying to stretch it into a double. Whole bunch of base runners since. 4 of them, fielder's choice guys, really don't count. And that's upstairs, 2-1 to Denard Span. Trying to bunt for a hit again, and no bunts this inning or going fair at all.
Well, I was told before the game that Garrett Richards really has problems fielding his position, and he has trouble throwing the ball to first, and I think Denard Span really trying to take advantage of that right now with 2 strikes. Very rarely do you see a guy square around a bunt twice, and I think he's hoping that Richard fields it and throws it down the right field line.
Span is swinging a miss. Ball gets away. Umpire dances out of the way. And Iannetta throws out Span to end the 5th inning. Last 2 home innings have been quite interesting. Nats by 1. Geico President's Race. William Howard Taft coming off a win, out to a big start. But we know that whoever usually goes out early falls apart late. Here comes Abe. Taft hanging with him. But over the years, the man from the land of Lincoln has always been the best closer. Game 2 tomorrow night. And the Angels will be here for 2 more. Taylor Jordan, Tyler Skaggs. Gio and Jared Weaver, great matchup on Wednesday night. And then the Padres are in for 4. Jordan Thursday, Steven Friday, and then Roark and Jordan to finish up against the Pods. In that 4-game series, first look we will get at the National League West. Padres right now are 9-10. Next pitch, number 80 for Tanner Roark. Facing Ian Stewart to lead off here in the 6th. He's retired him twice on a swinging strikeout and a fly ball to center. Stewart's had a lot of injuries to his left wrist the last 2 years. Limited him to 55 games with the Cubs in 12, and he was in the minor leagues all of last year. Bryce Harper there. Ball comes twisting back for him nicely off the bat of the left-hander. First out. Angels box score. 2 hits in the 2nd. Kendrick and Ibar. Iannetta walked. Pitcher struck out. 2 singles to lead off the 3rd. The Pujols double play ball huge. And then Ibar a double. Iannetta the walk. That was intentional. And then Roark got Richards again. Pretty good looking breaking ball. A little bit outside to Howie Kendrick, who was singled up the middle and bounced out to second. Nissan close enough to look at it on the track.
Yeah, Kendrick, a first pitch fastball guy, goes with the curveball, and that's been a strike so far tonight.
Similar pitch, this time swung on and missed. Great fastball. Inside edge. Right under the hitter's hands.
Well, it's definitely not a hitter's strike zone tonight. I'll say that as a former hitter. Howie Kendrick shaking his head, thinking that pitch was down.
Things have been inconsistent on both sides, really. Goes with a fastball. It's hit right at Adam LaRoche. When that happens, you are out. $5 beer night tomorrow with the Angels here. Fans 21 and older can purchase beer for only $5. Some restrictions apply. Get your game tickets by calling 202-675-NATS or visiting nationals.com/tickets. Breaking ball down and in to Brennan Bosch. Fly ball to left, ground ball to second. Look at the drop on that curveball.
Well, it's been good since the first one he threw to J.B. Shuck tonight. And here it is again, 12-6 curveball. Starts at 12 o'clock, goes straight down to 6 o'clock.
Target in this time. That means heater. Look at him run it back.
Where his command has just been unbelievable so far. Steve McCaddy liking what he's seeing from his right-hander, and who wouldn't?
Well, he's the only man to beat the Atlanta Braves for the Nats this year. Actually, the one he won was last September, a 4-0 game. He's been great in this ballpark. That ball really hit hard the other way. Bosch, a great job of letting it get deep, and a bullet at Bryce Harper. And now Eric Ibar comes in, and he's had 2 big at bats tonight. Single and a double, both hit hard.
A nice swing here by Bosch in a 2-strike count. Got something finally out over the plate. Got extended for a 2-out knock.
Eric Ibar busting out of a slump so far here tonight. Target right on the outside edge, and he got the left-handed batter to roll one over. Tanner Roark has not given up a run in his last 25 innings at Nationals Park, going back to that game in September against Atlanta. Here comes Bryce. A lot of action in a 1-0 game featuring 1 hit by the home team.
It's a great shot of Pujols talking to Worth, right? Basically telling him what we're talking about. He wasn't trying to hit you. Very animated right there. That was interesting.
Well, Harper 0 for 1 with a walk. Trout 1 for 3 with a single. 2-3-4 for the Nats here.
I'll tell you what, give Garrett Richards some credit. I mean, he's been all over the place tonight, but he's wiggled out of some jams. His stuff, without a doubt, plays at this level big time. So the 25-year-old has done a really nice job, I think, of keeping his poise when it looked like the wheels might come off and keeping his club in the game for sure.
Harper got overpowered in that one, popped it up to Ibar. Nats box score: 1 hit, Lobaton, 1 out, single in the 3rd, thrown out at 2nd, trying to stretch it. And then the Nats score a run in the 4th on walks to Span and Harper. Worth hit by a pitch and a ground ball by Adam LaRoche. 3 runners stranded so far. And Jason Worth 0 for 1, hit by that pitch, stepping in.
Boy, I'm looking at Chris Iannetta right now, and you have a pitcher in Richards who really hasn't had his best command tonight, and his pitches are moving all over the place, and he's really setting up, I guess, is exaggeratedly off the plate away to where when you have a guy that doesn't have his command, sometimes that's not a good thing. Right there it was with a 96-mile-an-hour cutter right to the spot, but
Nissan tracking this.
That's perfect.
Yeah, perfect on the edge fastball. Worth held up 2-1. Roark's had 92 pitches through 6 innings. Richards on his way to a similar pitch count. And Worth keeps seeing pitches away.
Well, that's just an aggressive swing by a guy that wants to do damage after he's hit last time to a cutter away. Watch the pull swing by Worth. He's trying to hit one in the Angels bullpen right here. And a nasty pitch.
Ooh, then he takes it. No swing, says Jerry Meals down at first. Worth has walked 9 times this year. And then he's been hit by 3 pitches. He held, it appeared. And the Nats have another gift-wrapped base runner. They were given 7 walks by St. Louis yesterday. And this is number 4 by Los Angeles/Anaheim tonight. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank with our minor league report. Right-hander Taylor Hill with Syracuse, the Vanderbilt Commodore, who's off to a great start. Low ERA, league hitting $1.69 against him. Loving some of that cold weather for a pitcher up in upstate New York. Here's LaRoche. That's the pitch Adams swung on and missed last time on the first one. Later in the bat, hit a ground ball to the second baseman for an RBI. (2-0). Been a lot of 2-0 counts tonight.
Seven walks, a hit by pitch, and an error yesterday. So 9 free base runners for the Nats in that Sunday day game. And that's, I guess, how you set a record for most runners stranded. You got 9 of them out there, and you didn't even have to swing the bat. Well, yeah, the error he did, but that was it.
3-0. LaRoche lined out to left, first time tonight.
Hard guy to swing 3-0 on. See if he decides to let it rip.
Yeah. You'd have to see a real cookie right down the middle. I wouldn't call 95 exactly a cookie, but that's in the power zone, and now you hope he throws another one there. But like you said, FP, it's just hard to go hacking when a guy's just giving you 90 feet at a time. That one was up a little bit, and LaRoche couldn't get over the top of it. And there's a good base runner at first base. Let's see if Matt Williams does anything with Worth here. Full count, 1 out. Right now, Stewart and Ibar are talking about it, FP. The third baseman, shortstop are on either side of the bag.
Yeah, who's going to cover? Richards real quick to the plate, so if you send Worth, you're betting on contact.
He's got a short lead, holding. And LaRoche will pop it up. Pujols over there, Kendrick with him. Second baseman will make the call. 2 outs. Anthony Rendon, the inning's up to him. Fly ball to right, and that 3-2 fielder's choice, well played by Pujols on the bare hand, that kept the Nats from scoring a second run in the fourth.
Angels outfield playing Rendon deep. That's what you do with 2 outs. So cut down angles, almost play no double style defense so that Jason Worth can't score all the way from first. But Jason Worth will be on ball in the dirt patrol right now because Garrett Richards has thrown a few curveballs to the screen, bounced a few curveballs, and if you're on first base right now, and even though he's quick to the plate and you're not really thinking steal, you can still look for that ball in the dirt.
Yep, good call. Interesting scenario here. Top of the 7th coming up. A guy throwing a one-hitter. Would they pinch hit for him? They've got a good bench with Raul Ibanez in there. He's their only left-handed batter other than their backup catcher, Hank Conger. And Rendon did a bit of a double take and took the off-speed pitch up.
I think absolutely you do. Although you talk to the Angels people and they say the bullpen hasn't been, well, it's been anything but lockdown.
ERA 4.92.
I mean, it depends what happens with Iannetta, and he's at 94 pitches right now, so it might be his last inning. Talking about Garrett Richards.
Ooh, Rendon, a big rip and a pitch up. Angels bullpen has 1 save this year. Right-hander Ernesto Frieri.
And we were bummed that, obviously, about Sean Burnett and his trials and tribulations there as you look at Xavier Cedeno getting loose. We were kind of looking forward to seeing Sean Burnett in D.C. We miss him. He was a great Nat.
Two with a runner aboard and 2 down here in the 6th.
Always talk about when they throw over multiple times, they're protecting the off-speed pitch, and you start to think that way as a hitter. Even though it's a 2-strike count for Rendon, the guy throws 96, 97, you have to look fastball, but maybe telling you he's going with off-speed. We'll see.
He does. Yeah, I was about to say that. You taught me that over the weekend, FP. Good call. Keeping the runner close because you're not going to be throwing your heater. Afraid a guy might steal with 2 outs and get into scoring position.
And, you know, for those of you that don't know, you get an extra step on an off-speed pitch, and it's always a good pitch to go on. Just because it's slower than the fastball. And for those of you that you do know, steal on curveballs.
2-2. Big curveball way upstairs, and now Jason Worth will be moving with the pitch. He'll visit with Tony Tarasco for a moment as Rendon has worked the count full here. Nats have received 4 walks and had a batter hit tonight in a 1-0 game. And Anthony Rendon just fouled off a nasty curve.
Well, what he does is he goes A to B as quick as anybody. I talked about this yesterday. So his hands start into the zone as quick as anybody. What he does on top of that is he keeps his bat in the strike zone a long time. So Albert Pujols is the king of this. Getting the hands in the zone, get the barrel to the point of contact as quick as anybody. But then Pujols stays through the baseball, meaning he keeps his bat in the strike zone a long time. It's not in and out. Rendon, very similar in that he gets his hands from A to B quick and then keeps the bat through the baseball in the strike zone.
Fastball. Oh, he's going to get punched out on a pitch tailing up and in. Well, we've got a pitcher all over the place tonight and some calls similar.
I mean, look where he reaches for that. You usually don't get that call. Wow.
Wow, lovely scenery here in Washington, D.C. tonight. Cherry blossoms, well, they're going away soon.
Those are tulips.
Tulips? Well, I know that, but looks like they haven't fully bloomed yet. We have. Seventh inning coming up. One hitter by Garrett Richards, and they might pinch hit for him here in a moment. We'll see. But Tanner Roark, 25 consecutive scoreless innings pitching here at home.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Everything down in the zone. Great late movement. You see the curveball right there. Has been sharp all night long.
And for now, the pitcher is on deck. Chris Iannetta walking twice, one unintentional. Looks like it is a right-handed batter, but it's David Freese who they've moved to the on-deck circle. They may want to save Ibanez for later. Freese came over from St. Louis with Fernando Salas, who's in their bullpen. And a ball hooked, well foul, left field way. And Freese is the only member of the Angels who's ever had an AB against Tanner Roark. 1-for-3 career. Xavier Cedeno joined by Drew Storen. Fastball up, and he's late.
See, wow. Hitters ask for consistency. Pitchers ask for consistency. That's all they want in a strike zone every night. And we've seen this be a strike tonight, and we've seen it be a ball tonight.
Nissan on the pitch track, and I think even our pitch track is trying to figure out which way to go right now. Zone all over the place. 3-2 pitch. Threw him a strike. Danny Espinosa right there for an important first out in the 7th.
Win prize packages from Masson all week long. Just be sure to follow Masson on Twitter using hashtag MassonNationals in your tweets to be automatically entered to win.
So David Freese, a former postseason MVP, right now a part-time player for the Angels. He's 8 for 56. First pinch hitting appearance of the year. They were hoping he'd come over and just grab the third base job. Roark turns over a sinker, 91 down and in.
Scratched from the lineup on Friday. Missed the last 2 games with tightness in his right quad. Last homestand he was just 3 for 25, and he's been scuffling here early in the year for the Angels.
On a pitch up, breaking ball hit off to the right side. Freese was the LCS and World Series MVP for St. Louis back in 2011. Hit that walk-off homer in Game 6 that broke the Rangers' hearts. And a 1-1. Jammed him pretty well.
This looks different in an Angels uniform, right? I mean, local guy, has all that postseason success. You feel like he's going to spend his whole life as a Cardinal. Run for mayor of St. Louis when he's done after that postseason he had. And now here he is in an Angels uniform. It just looks weird to me.
And he told me today at his locker that he's gone from one really good organization to another. He just, guys will tell you the Angels are very good to their guys. Everything's done in a first-class manner out there under Artie Moreno. They're very generous and player-friendly owner. Fastball, gotta be a strike, right? And Tanner Roark gets his first K since the 2nd inning.
Well, that's been his pitch all night to right-handers. He's used it to lefties, too. The front door sinker to lefties, the back door sinker right there to righties, starting it off the plate, running it back, and the control of the fastball tonight has been exceptional all night long from Tanner Roark.
Two outs, bases empty. And the leadoff man, J.B. Shuck, slaps a base hit to right. He's 2 for 4. And the Angels have 7 hits to 1 for the Nats, who lead.
So I guess the question for Mike Scioscia is right now, in a 1-run game with Mike Trout hitting, do you even think about sending J.B. Shuck? And that's going to do it for Roark. What a night. He's going to get a standing ovation from the home crowd.
Six and 2/3. Excellent. Congrats and some good words from Steve McCatty. Why not? 105 pitches, 63 strikes. He should have had a whole bunch more than 4 Ks, that's for sure. So here's Drew Storen, and Drew has simply been throwing the ball outstanding lately. A 1.29 ERA, 9 Ks in 7 innings. Knock on wood, no walks. NFP several years ago, it was his control in the minor leagues that got him to the big leagues so quickly, because he seldom walked anybody on his way through the chain.
Well, several years ago, or even last year, you would never bring in Drew Storm with a plus base runner at first base in a one-run game. He's worked on quickening his delivery to home plate. The two-seam fastballs average 93 miles an hour. The slider's been good, but for me, his best pitch this year has been the changeup. And like I said, going to break, does Mike Sosa send J.B. Shuck right here with Trout hitting?
Strike one. Trout a base hit to right in between a called strikeout and the fly ball to center. And the fastball, 94, running up and in. By the way, don't want to cheat Roark out of a K. He had 5 strikeouts in his 6 2/3. Went 5 innings between strikeout number 4 and 5. Big breaking ball. 1-2.
I see the slider right here, 82 miles an hour. I think you got to turn Shuck loose here. 2-strike count, probably going to be another slider. Drew Storm thinking about bouncing this, possibly. It's a good pitch to run on if you're Shuck.
Holding inside, 2-2.
Slider backed up.
Yeah, those are the kind you're glad they stayed way inside.
Well, what happens is you try to throw the greatest slider I've ever seen and you overthrow it. Squirts out of your hand. That's what happens.
Top of the 7th inning, Nationals lead 1-0. Okay, we play the guessing game. A throw or two over. What it means to the next pitch.
Well, he's just trying to keep him close. I think he's stealing. I mean, you almost have to in a 2-2 count, but looking at him doesn't look like it right here.
Not much of a lead. Maybe Mike Sosa just doesn't want to take any chance of taking the bat out of Mike Trout's hands. Of course, if he gets thrown out, next inning you've got Trout and Pujols leading off in the 8th. Most managers wouldn't mind that. Long pause, runner going. Swinging a drive. Right center. Denard Span is there. Tanner Roark and now Drew Storm so far keeping a good hitting ball club off the scoreboard. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch at Nationals Park. Doesn't matter that the Nats are being out hit right now. It's a 1-0 Washington lead. Desmond Espinosa, Lobato coming up.
pitches. That's a career high for him. And just from the get-go, good tempo, down the zone, everything's sharp. And he did a nice job keeping the Angels off the board 1-0, heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. And let's go back to the 4th inning where Nats scored all of their run. It started with a leadoff walk to Denard Span, then another walk to Bryce Harper. Little trip from Chris Iannetta, talked to his right-hander, calm him down. Jason Worth got smoked by a pitch, and then Adam LaRoche with the 4-6 fielder's choice. And that's the inning. The Nats scored the run.
5 Ks tonight, and this is Fernando Salas, the 28-year-old right-hander. That's 5 Ks for Tanner Roark. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th with Ian Desmond. Takes a strike at the knees. Desmond career against Salas. Bunch of Nats have seen him, and Ian's 1 for 5.
Now he'll see a fastball at 92, a slider at 84, and a changeup from Salas at 87.
You mean a guy in the 7th inning only throws 92?
Well, he got a good slider and a good changeup.
1 ball, 1 strike. Espinosa's next. Desmond with a big swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A little tip of the cap, too, to Garrett Richards tonight. A young pitcher going out there, didn't have his greatest command or control, but fought through 6 innings and more than kept his ball club in the game. It looked like the wheels had a chance to come off a few times, and he righted the ship and did a nice job.
99 pitches, 54 strikes. 1 hit and a run on a ground ball in 6 innings when he walked 4, struck out 6, threw a wild pitch, hit a batter, and kept his team in the game with a chance to win.
His stuff is impressive.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Target away on Desmond. Fastball running in, and Ian Desmond's 0 for 3.
We promised you earlier in the game, and I know you've been on the edge of your seat. Here's your AT&T fan photo.
Oh, boy.
And it's obviously a bulldog named Mike.
Do not be an intruder in that dog's yard. You are in danger, Will Robinson. Next up, Danny Espinosa. 2 for 4 career against Salas, and he's homered against him. And that one outside. Salas traded with David Freese by the Cardinals over to the Angels. And that, of course, was a deal that sent Peter Borges to St. Louis. Espinosa jacks one, heading for the scoreboard, but Bosch is over to grab it about 360 feet away.
Ball hit well. Nice play by Bosch, cutting down the distance in the gap. Good route to it. Just a smooth swing from Espinosa. Fastball down and in. Drop the barrel to it. We've seen that swing all season long. And might have got in there just a hair, because I thought off the bat that one was ticketed for the gap. It stayed up long enough for Bosch to run it down.
Lobaton in the number 8 spot. Well, Drew Storen did his job in the 7th by flying out. One of the best hitters in the game. If the inning continues, Zach Walters will hit for Drew. Lobaton has never faced Salas. And then Tyler Clippard for the 8th. Pujols right-hander, Stewart from the other side, and then Howie Kendrick.
Do you think about leaving in Drew Storm to face Albert Pujols and then bringing in Clippard? Or do you just give Clippard the clean eighth? I think Williams probably gives him the clean eighth.
Yeah. I know Davey Johnson always wanted Tyler to start an inning. It's a head scratcher, isn't it? And Drew still got the jacket on, keeping warm. We'll see. I mean, he has just been throwing the ball so well.
Well, Zach Walters on deck, I think, answers my question.
Well, yeah, but if this guy makes it out, what do you do?
Yeah.
That's a slider. Let me just look up real quick. Drew Storm against Albert Pujols. They've only met once. 3 times, actually. Drew's walked Albert a couple of times. He's 0 for 1.
Well, you can't start a guy or shut a guy down and start him back up. So they've already told Drew he's done. That's why Walters is out there, and it'll be Clippard's 8.
Yeah, there's some relievers who just don't function well in that scenario. Two, and Lobaton, great take on a changeup. Looked like a strike for a while. And Jose's trying to reach base for the 3rd time tonight. And suddenly, for the 6th time in his last 7 at bats, if he can make it, he has really come alive. Little tapper to stay alive.
Yeah, Benton 3-2 fastball, got the changeup.
Great at bat. Jose Lobaton all over the bags here. Starting yesterday. Nats received their 5th walk of the night.
You can follow Jose Lobaton or every National and every Nationals game with MLB.com @bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. I have it. I use it all the time. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Nationals.com today, tonight, tomorrow.
Well, veteran pinch hitters like to go up hacking in the late innings when they see something they like, and Zach Walters already acting like a veteran in this role.
Well, he likes to hack even if he's getting a start. He's a guy that'll swing the bat. I think the biggest concern with him in spring training this year was his knowledge of the strike zone, kind of locking that in a little bit, because as a minor leaguer, he had a tendency to chase. We haven't seen that.
Changeup was up a bit. No balls, 2 strikes. One 1-0 ball game. Nats have led since the 4th inning on an Adam LaRoche ground ball with the bases loaded. And Walters down on 3 pitches. Fernando Salas comes out, throws a scoreless 7th. Tyler Clippard about to take over for the Nats. copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. How many times this year has Tony Tarasco said to Anthony Rendon, nice at bat? Nationals 5 strikeouts tonight from Tanner Roark.
Yeah, right from the get-go. Had his release point, on time, out front, everything down the zone. Making pitch after pitch on the black, taking advantage of a bigger strike zone early in the game. But what a night here for Tanner Roark. And when you talk about that battle that's still going on for the 5th spot in the rotation, Tanner Roark has done nothing to hurt his chances when Doug Fister comes back. Nothing.
Toyota case for kids, 5 strikeouts times $37 to the Children's Inn at the National Institutes of Health, thanks to our DC area Toyota dealers. Here we are, top of the 8th. Albert Pujols against Tyler Clippard. Pujols 2 for 3 with a home run against Clippard career. And the breaking ball missing. Well, Tyler struggled against St. Louis the other night. Drew Storen came on to get him and the Nats out of an 8th inning jam.
Well, to me, you could make the argument that this is the save right here, right now, this matchup, this at-bat.
Yeah. Fastball up. Pujols made an offer. No appeal. Kept his bat back. 2-0. Inside the numbers with Jeep. Adam Dunn, former Nat. Paul Konerko, long career with the White Sox. Big Papi and another former Nat, Soriano, on that list.
Taken all the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, 92.
I don't know if he looked up and Clippard was already in his motion or not, but Albert Pujols taken all the way in a 2-0 count.
Changeup hit up the middle. Crazy shift on. And Ian Desmond has another one go off his glove. He had time.
He did. He went a long way for this ball, but because of the speed of Albert Pujols, who's running much better this year than he did last year, by the way, but he still did have time. And look at Espinosa right there. He has to go behind Desmond, and if Desmond gloves that, he's got plenty of time to throw out Pujols, and I think they scored that a hit. Nope. E6.
His 8th error of the year. And the Nationals league worst. 21st. Here's Ian Stewart. 1 for 5 career against Clippard. And that was a home run cut. He was ripping. Ian Stewart has hit into 1 double play this year.
That's just a pitch we haven't seen many opponents swing at, offer at, swing through this year. The changeup from Tyler Clippard. You know, as devastating a pitch as it was last year, we're seeing a lot of teams and players take that pitch and not even really move their hands. It's another take on the changeup. And it's not Carp that they're just taking it, it's how they're taking it.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of hitters. Jason Hayward in a big count, 2-1, game on the line, tie game. You know, when power hitters like him are thinking about jumping ship and hitting a home run, not even start their hands or even move forward on the Clippard changeup, just taking it straight all the way. And you saw Pujols in that 2-0 count. That was kind of weird too, that he just stood there like it was 3-0.
92. Well, you can take that fastball and move it around to different quadrants of the strike zone. He's got 92 to 94 as a rule.
Yeah, and his fastball is good enough, especially with all the deception in the elbows and the kneecaps, the delivery that's coming at you. It's a 92 to 94 that plays a little bit harder than it actually is.
Nobody out. Runner at first. 2-2 count. Top of the 8th inning in a 1-0 game. Runner going. Swing and a miss. No chance on the throw. Albert Pujols steals a base on Tyler Clippard while the first out's being made.
Yeah, first stolen base of the year by Albert Pujols, and he got a great jump. You get the strikeout. The throw cuts a little bit from Jose Lobaton, but look at the jump. Lobaton, even with the perfect throw, does not get the frisky Albert Pujols.
Some folks may find this hard to believe, but that's his 94th career steal.
And a big one.
Nationals bullpen from the 7th inning on, 4th best in all of baseball.
Careful right here on the first pitch.
Howie Kendrick throws him that slider, that slurve looking thing. Howie Kendrick career against Tyler Clippard, 1 for 2. That was in the series out in Anaheim 3 years ago. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Left side, deep short. Desmond. They got the runner almost rounding the bag. Intelligent play by Ian Desmond. He had no chance at first, and Albert Pujols barely got back. Infield hit, 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Well, Kendrick was getting down the line. Let's take a look at it one more time. Desmond does a nice job of keeping it in the infield. And I think there might have been a bobble right there, and that's why he didn't throw to first. But if he makes that a little firmer feed to Anthony Rendon, they might have Pujols. Kind of flipped it in there soft.
I did see Pujols look at first like he was looking for a throw. Here's Brennan Bosch, 1 for 3. He's 1 for 1 career against Tyler Clippard. And the 1-0 lead in serious jeopardy here.
Well, the Clippard ground ball pitch is the changeup. So if you're thinking about a double play, his fastball 4-seam usually elevated. It's an easy pitch to hit a fly ball on. I should say an easier pitch to hit a fly ball on than the changeup.
Clippard steps off.
You elevate the fastball, you go that split with 2 strikes. Lobaton out there probably talking about, do you feel comfortable with the changeup right here in an 0-1 count? And Kendrick at first base, who has 3 steals.
Nats have turned 1 key double play tonight. Pujols with 2 on, nobody out, back in the 3rd. Time given now. Tyler Clippard's really been slow with men on base this year in terms of his work rate. And a pop up to the left side for Ian Desmond.
Big out by Tyler Clippard.
Yeah, one of the biggest he's gotten all year. And he'll take on a contact man now in Eric Ibar.
And it was with the changeup, 80 miles an hour. He left it up, but Bosch was out in front. You see the leg kick, it's down early. Front side opens just off the barrel. Looked like the label. And a big pop-up and a huge out in a 1-0 ball game. Wow. Now watch a base hit bunt here with Ibar, even though there's 2 outs.
He can fly. Two for 3 tonight. He's never hit against Tyler Clippard. He has now. And the Angels tie the game. Error on the leadoff man, coming back to haunt the Nats. And that'll be another unearned run they give up.
Well, Eric Ibar came in 2 for his last 22, struggling. Single first time up, double second time up. And now the 3rd hit of the game for Ibar ties this one at 1. First pitch fastball from Clippard right down the middle. You see the reaction from Tyler, not happy.
Nats have now given up 13 unearned runs this year. Inning not over yet. Here's Chris Iannetta. He's 1 for 4 career against Clippard. And he faces the right-hander and misses in with a changeup. That really was the only well-hit ball of the inning.
Well, the error by Desmond costly, obviously, but I'm more impressed with the stolen base from Albert Pujols. Last year he had all the problems with the lower half.
Yeah.
Feels much better this year. Better base, hitting off his legs more than he could last year, and he proves it here in the 8th inning by leading it off, reaching by an error, and then stealing second base.
Yeah, he might end his career as one of the few sluggers who've ever stolen more than 100 bases. Career 94 right now. That was a big 90 feet in this inning.
I would love to see the percentage of changeups swung at from Tyler Clippard this year versus last. It just seems like nobody's really offering at it.
That's a high fastball at 93, 3-1. Raul Ibanez on deck. Nats are not warming a left-hander. Clippard walks, and the bases are loaded. And Steve McCaddy to the mound. The Nats have 3 lefties. Cedeno warmed up earlier. Jerry Blevins threw 18 pitches yesterday in a 2-hit scoreless 8th inning. So right now, this left-hander, Nat tormentor Ibanez, is going to face a right-hander in Clippard. And Ibanez is 3 for 9 career against him with 2 home runs.
Well, your setup guy is your setup guy. You usually don't play matchup baseball with your 8th inning guy in a 1-run lead. So Matt Williams going with Tyler Clippard and trying to keep this one tied at 1.
Raul Ibanez is 0 for his last 11. And overall hitting a .148 with 3 homers, 12 RBIs. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. And he goes hacking at that first pitch changeup.
There's an offer at the changeup and a good one from Clippard at 81. Watch the movement late here, down in the zone, right where you want it. Ibanez thinking first pitch heater off the bench, gets a changeup.
And a ball driven to left center. The Angels will take the lead, and this is going to drive in 3 runs. Ball gets away from Lobaton, and they might have to give Ian Desmond an error on that throw. It's a 4-run Angel 8th. And Raul Ibanez had done it to the Nats again.
Yeah, left center field. I think it was back-to-back changeups. Ibanez makes the adjustment. The exact same pitch he swung through on strike 1. He looks for in the second pitch and gets it. I mean, he was all over that changeup like he knew it was coming. Split the gap. And everybody scores to make this 4-1. Albert Pujols on the top step, cheering on his teammate.
Nightmare of an 8th inning for Tyler Clippard. Top of the order for the Angels, who now lead 4-1.
Is due. Raul Ibanez, 41 years old, gets a first pitch changeup from Tyler Clippard, swings through it. His helmet almost comes off, so he's sitting fastball. Thought process for hitters, hey, I looked really bad on that pitch. He's probably going to throw it again. I'm going to change my game plan to changeup, and watch Ibanez let the ball get deep, gets another changeup, and then goes the other way.
Hit that ball about 360 the other way to drive in 3 runs. Xavier Cedeno, first appearance of the year for the Nats, is his call up. And he just misses hitting J.B. Shuck. Every run in this inning unearned. They did give Ian Desmond another error on the relay throw, allowing Ibanez to end up at third base.
The best I've ever seen at that is Albert Pujols. He will look bad on one pitch and then switch his game plan to that pitch, sit on it, Or say he fouls one straight back, a fastball. Well, he knows you're not going to get another fastball because the pitcher knows he was right on it, and he'll switch his game plan to another pitch. And Ibanez right there sitting on the Clippard changeup and got it.
Adam LaRoche right there for the ground ball. Race to the bag. That was close.
Cedeno didn't get over to cover.
4 unearned runs for the Angels. Denard Span, bottom of the 8th ahead. The Nats still have 6 outs to work with. On Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Tough 8th inning for Tyler Clippard and the Nats defense. 4 unearned runs for the Angels. Our Honda do-ups in the bottom of the 8th, Span, Harper, Worth, and what they did in interleague action last year. All of them outstanding. Colin Cowgill, former Met, in right field. And on the mound, former Met, Joe Smith.
Submariner at 88, fastball average. He has a slider at 80 to go with it. 10th game of the year. You see the record, the ERA. Righties hitting just 188. Lefties faring a little bit better.
Denard Span right into his glove on a hop. Well, Smith came up in good fielding position and stabbed it.
Another good at bat by Span right up the middle. Good finish by Joe Smith. Square to the hitter. Good fielding position. Makes the play look easy.
Hey, you know, we don't talk about it that often. A whole lot of pitchers don't do that anymore.
Right. Fall off the mound.
Next up, Bryce Harper, who's never faced Joe Smith. Fastball right in there. Inside corner, 1-2. Bryce didn't like it. Harper 0 for 2 tonight, a 4th inning walk.
First pitch fastball away, second pitch slider backdoor variety, didn't get the call, and then paints the 2-seamer on the inner half.
That's a great pitch. You have a left-hander who's diving. And that one just breaks in on the hitter at the last moment to miss. Full count.
Well, up by 3, should get a fastball. And for the Angels, you got a little pad here. Should challenge him.
Harper to the first baseman, Pujols. And 2 ground ball outs for Joe Smith here in the 8th inning. Nats haven't hit many long balls lately. Every time they do, it's $250 to the Children's National Medical Center. So it's for a wonderful cause, and that's thanks to our Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers. Last Nats homer was Danny Espinosa in the 5th inning on Saturday. Nats hit 2 home runs in the St. Louis 4-game series. Here's Worth. Jason tonight 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and a walk. The Nats still have 1 hit tonight, and that's outside. Worth against Joe Smith, career 1 for 7.
Well, if you're going to be a ball club that plays a lot of close games this year, and it looks like that may be the case, you can't give the other squad extra outs on a consistent basis. It's just gonna kill you all season long until you remedy the error situation.
Will that be the runs for and the runs against are 87 for, 85 against, and 13 of those 85 have been handed over.
I mean, it'll change. It has to.
That's a strike at the knees. That thing really came swinging back.
That 2-seam fastball started away, backdoor variety. See if it comes back and gets the corner. Pitch has been a strike pretty much all night.
Worth does walk. That's the 6th walk by the Angels staff in this series opener. Adam LaRoche should be next. LaRoche 0 for 2 career with a walk against Joe Smith.
Well, down by 3, if you're going to play the shift, well, looking at it, Ian Stewart coming back over to guard against the LaRoche bunt. I was going to say push one down there and get the tying run to the plate. Can't do it now because Stewart came back over from shortstop to, I guess, a relatively third base-ish position.
I haven't seen anybody play to pull like Howie Kendrick is. He's almost in a straight line behind Pujols from home plate. Stewart now shading more toward the second base bag, and Adam LaRoche singles right through there. Worth has the play in front of him, so he's going to stop. And the Nationals have just doubled their hit total for the night, and Adam LaRoche sets up Anthony Rendon as the tying run.
You know what's happening is teams are using data from years past on Adam LaRoche. So early in a season, you're going to get a book full of pull ground balls from Adam LaRoche throughout his career. They're not seeing what he's doing this year, using the whole field. So LaRoche is taking advantage of what he's done in the past. The scouting report says get everybody on the right side of the infield, and he's using the other side nicely. And as the season goes on and teams get more data on the fact that LaRoche is using the whole field, you won't see these predominant shifts against Adam. And then you start pulling the ball and the hits keep coming.
Anthony Rendon facing Joe Smith for the first time. Throws the fastball and the slider right off that same motion. Tough to figure out which way that thing's going. There's the one that goes away.
Proverbial right man, the right spot. Picked up the release point for 2 pitches now. Sees where the ball comes out of. Picked up the window. Time to go to work.
That's a high strike.
Almost a riser here from a sidearm him. See the release point. Gets the high strike. And now you got to fight.
Ooh, that slider up and in. Counts even 2-2. He's been amazing in the second half of ball games. 235 first few innings. 500 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's a tough take, man. That looks like a strike forever. So 3-2. Worth at second, LaRoche at first will be on the move here.
Rallied it on. Crowd into it.
Rendon right side, Albert Pujols, 8th inning over. The Nats have stranded 7 more base runners tonight. And to the 9th, Angels lead 4-1. That's Mr. Skaggs, 22-year-old lefty, and Taylor for the Nats. And Taylor Jordan is still looking for his first win this year, 0-2 with a 5.94 ERA. We'll get going at 6:30 with Johnny and Ray here at the ballpark tomorrow night, game 2 of this 3-game Angels National Series.
Well, I'm not even touching first names tomorrow night with the pitchers. I'm going strictly last name basis.
So here we go to the top of the 9th inning, and Xavier Cedeno still pitching for the Nats.
P-Nats, they're there, folks. The defending Northern Division champs are back in Woodbridge, April 23rd through the 29th. Highlights include Bryce Harper t-shirt night, team posters, pups in the park, and fireworks. Go down and see the future Nats all summer. Go to PotomacNats.com or call 703-590-2311.
Mike Trout against Xavier Cedeno, matching up for the first time.
Mike Trout power zone. Pretty big blotch of red right there in the middle. And that's where his hit was. Right at the bottom of the nucleus.
It's not easy being green. And the count 2-1 to Mike Trout with Pujols and Stewart to follow here in the ninth. And that ball gashed in the left. Mike Trout 2 for 5 tonight. Came in hitting .307.
In a short, compact swing, you see the leg kick, foot down, side angle, pull those hands in, and just has a knack of getting that barrel to the baseball no matter where the pitch is. We showed him on his earlier knock tonight to right field. Really burying the head, going across the plate, making solid contact, and here's that guy.
Albert Pujols 0 for 4 tonight. He reached on the Desmond error to start that 4-run 8th inning, stole a base. And he's facing Xavier Cedeno for the first time as well. Only David Freese and Chris Iannetta had ever faced the Nats lefty. And the breaking ball stays up and away. Chopper left side. Rendon cuts it off. Espinosa just has to make sure they get that out with Mike Trout coming in hard and fast.
And so was a throw from Rendon, so that could have easily handcuffed Danny Espinosa. And they'll take the out they were given. Good job getting a lead runner. Mike Trout playing hard. Show you a hard 90 right here. Mike Trout going hard into second base. It's the way you play the game. We saw Jason Worth doing it, and Mike Trout doing the same. Almost beat it.
See Danny go 2 hands on that grab. No transfer happening there. Know when to get that out and hold on. Next up, Ian Stewart. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Trout with 2, Kendrick with 2, Shuck with 2 hits each. So they have 6 base hits from their top 5 batters. And that's with Pujols and Stewart going a combined 0 for 9. And that ball hit hard to center, right up the middle. 2 on, 1 out. Nice. Howie Kendrick looking for a 3-hit night coming in.
Nice night for Ian Stewart. 0 for 4 into a 1 for 5. Always nice to go home with a knock. Get you to sleep about 2 hours earlier than normal.
Is it 2 hours per hit?
Oh, goodness. An 0 for 5. That's a rough one to sleep on. We used to say Tony Gwynn got the best night's sleep of any big leaguer in the history of the game because every night he went home with 2 hits. Well, all of us were tossing and turning with our offers and worried about some guy they called up from AAA that was going to start the next day. Yeah. Tony Gwynn was in bed at 10:30 and slept till 10 in the morning. We flip-flopped with cold sweats. He got 8 hours of sleep.
That's why Tony watched so much videotape. He had to do something to not be resting, and he used videotape as well as anybody ever did in scouting opposing pitchers.
Yeah,
he was kind of the first guy who really blazed that trail.
It wouldn't matter. Nolan Ryan tomorrow, 8 hours. Greg Maddux tomorrow, 8 hours. The rest of us, it didn't matter who was pitching.
Tony Gwynn's Padres will be here Thursday night. Of course, he was Steven Strasburg's college coach. One of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Big rip and a foul straight back. Craig Stammen. Angels have been hard to pitch to here these last 2 innings. Line drive, LaRoche right in behind the runner at second, and a 3-6 double play puts this one into the bottom of the ninth.
Great decision by LaRoche. He looked at first, realized he didn't have the double play. His only option was the second, and he took it.
Three, 4-1 as the Cardinals push across 4 in the top of the 8th. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight set to bring you our Nets Extra postgame show, and the floodgates opening up because of an error in the 8th inning, Ray.
Yeah, Johnny, it's been Waterloo. The errors, not a tough play. You know, it didn't appear to be a tough play. It was kind of a squibbler, but Clip just ends up serving up a couple of 3-base hits, actually walking. He's not sharp yet, but I don't know what that error does to affect him, but he has to really pick up the defense right there. I mean, he's still in the ball game, but you know, we had a tough time getting to Richards, didn't we? That kid was throwing 98 miles an hour all over the place, only threw 50% strikes. Tough choice tonight.
Also some nice conversation, I know, about Tanner Roark and the job he did tonight on the mound.
Oh, man, he's a gutsy guy, boy. He goes out there and just pitches. Not overpowering, 91, 92, mixes that curveball and slider, and just seems to give you a solid effort every time out, John.
You play 9 innings for one reason, because if the team's behind, they can come back and win it in the 9th. Wouldn't that be sweet? Upstairs to Bob and to Mr. FP.
Thank you, Johnny and Mr. Ray. Ernesto Frieri is a 28-year-old right-hander from Bolivar, Colombia. He has the only save for the Angels bullpen this year. He had 37 last year, 23 the year before that, so he's a legitimate American League closer, and he faces Ian Desmond here, who's never batted against him.
We saw the average against. Those were gaudy numbers. He's a 3-pitch guy. Fastball averages 94, slider and a change.
Desmond Espinosa, Lobaton. Ian's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. And he hits a long ball to left center. See you later. Beyond the red seats, one bounce into the red porch. And it's a 4-2 game.
Goodness, that ball was touched. You know, talking to the Angels people, their back end of the bullpen has been a mystery so far this year. In the 9th, couldn't have started any worse for Mike Sosa's club. And Desmond gets a location mistake, supposed to be on the outer half. And they worked him away all night long with fastballs and slider on the outer half. He finally gets something close to him, and look where this one lands. Halfway up in the red porch, over the red seats.
Nobody thought they were getting a baseball up there. Here's Espinosa, who's 0 for 2 career against Frieri. And Danny takes the fastball for a high strike. Desmond, by the way, leads the Nationals now with 4 home runs.
Right, he's hitting .455 against Frieri this year before that home run by Desmond.
Wow, that ball was, as you say, roasted.
Now you just need a bloop and a bomb.
Good rip by Danny. So Frieri, 4.91 ERA going up as we speak. He's given up 4 home runs already this year.
Must be feels so good for Ian to see a ball on the inner half. Everything's been away. Randy Knorr on the top step. Adam LaRoche. All there to greet their teammate who made this a 2-run game in a hurry.
Espinosa strikes out, 1 down. Next up, Jose Lobaton.
He just got to keep working his on-base magic right here and go lead-off hitter mentality. Try to get on any way he can. Hit speed 104 on that tater.
Wow. Jose Lobaton facing Frieri for the first time. Never saw each other in the American League. Single, a pair of walks, and he's been going up hacking early in the count. Nate McLouth steps out on deck in the number 9 spot. And he gets the corner with 87, took a little bit off. Got a fight here, 0-2. Pretty easy take upstairs. Two outs.
We're just challenging with 95 right down the middle. Here it is, hit it.
Nate McLouth 0 for 3 career with a walk against the Angels right-hander. And that fastball up and away.
Looks like Nate's taking a strike all the way. Showed bunt right there, but he wasn't really concerned about bunting. Just in take mode, trying to keep the line moving, keep this game going, and get Denard Span up there.
.94 in the inner half. A little closer to getting that tying run into the batter's box.
Well, do you go automatic take here and fill up the count and hope you get the same pitch? 3-2.
Yeah, usually you're ripping in a situation like this. Base runner definitely needed.
Yeah, automatic take. Good leadoff hitters will do that, I think. You should get the same exact pitch in this count that you had in the 3-1 count.
Threw him a fastball, and McLouth way out ahead of it.
Yeah, geared up for this 94 3-2 pitch on the inner half. It was supposed to be away. Missed across the plate, and McLouth caught it early.
Well, Matt's hoping not to waste some good starting pitching again. Last 4 games, the starters a 1.35 ERA on this homestand. It'll be a come-from-behind effort. And another 3-2 to McLeod. Right in on his hands. He was thinking close enough to be hacking. Good at bat by Nate McLeod, and the Nats live to fight another batter.
That's a pro at bat off the bench right there. I'll tell you what. Got into a 3-1 count, took a pitch for his ball club to try to get to first base, then battled and fought off some borderline pitches to take that one right there and bring the tying run to the plate. Nice at bat from McLeod.
6 come from behind wins already this year for the Nationals, including yesterday.
I'm sure Matty Williams would love to see Bryce Harper get a crack at this thing.
A runner going, and the Angels will give McLeod second base.
Well, that's bigger than it looks, because with the speed of Denard Span, you take the force out away at second base and make the infield throw across. And we've seen Denard with plenty of infield singles throughout his career as a Nat. So yeah, you got to go right there for sure.
Span pulls it just about 2 feet, maybe 3, outside that first base bag.
Well, we've seen it all year. They're dying hard again.
Denard Span, right field, hooking foul.
He's had such a quick bat since he's been reactivated. 94 miles an hour, almost off the plate, and drops the barrel to it. Can't keep it fair.
I think Denard might be the only guy in the ballpark who knew that was foul off the bat. Everybody else ought to have had a chance, and he kind of froze and knew it was going to go foul.
I mean, even though Denard Span not known for the home run, you're flirting with disaster with any big league hitter when you're going middle in to the tie and run. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the changeup away here to Denard Span as Span walks back to the dugout, and he's going to ask Rick Shue in the middle of an at-bat. I don't know that I've ever seen this before. Does he have a changeup?
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's the message from Mike Butcher. Hey, man, make this guy beat us on the away side, not the pull side.
Or
you're flirting with it.
Or let's try that changeup that you threw to Jose Lobaton.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Denard Span. 24,371 paid tonight.
We're not giving up.
A lot of folks on their feet hoping for one more chance.
Right.
81
slider right there.
Yeah. Marlins just tied the Braves in the top of the 9th at Atlanta. Bottom of the 9th here. Nats trying to do the same thing to the Angels. Span strikes out. Game over. Angels use a 4-run 8th inning when all the runs were unearned to take the first game of the series against the Nats, 4-2.
Well, you got to tip your hat to Garrett Richards tonight. I mean, this was a guy that looked like he was going to be out of the ball game early. Lost his command in the 4th inning, but righted the ship. Had tremendous poise to go with some good stuff, and more than kept his team in the ball game. And very impressive outing from the young 25-year-old right-hander from the Angels.
And the Nats are going to have another ball game tonight to consider what could have been with some defense that resulted in a big inning for the visitors. That's FP. I'm Bob, and for Dan Coco, final score 4-2 Angels. Tomorrow night, Taylor Jordan and Tyler Skaggs. This has been a presentation of Masson, Johnny, and Ray next with Nats Extra and from the booth at Nats Park. So long for just a while.